police department for dead people. I wonder what the sentence is like for murder.
Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink. Times when you're alone, all you do is think. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, head of the line.
If the dead take over, that's it for the living world.
They picked the wrong venue to make a stand. This world's for the living, and RIPD is gonna keep it that way.
Alright, we got RIPD. Ryan Reynolds plays a cop who is killed in action, and instead of getting sent to heaven or hell, he gets sent to the RIPD, the Rest in Peace Department, who offer him a deal in which, instead of going to face judgment, he would instead work here for 100 years, basically acting as the patrol for dead spirits who escape to the human world. These spirits are called deados, and he'll go capture the deados and bring them back to the RIPD to live out their sentence and eventually face judgment. He's also joined by Jeff Bridges, who is sort of the hot-headed, arrogant, experienced guy who he's been there a long time, he knows what he's doing, he thinks he's all that, and he sees Ryan Reynolds as just sort of his baggage that he has to carry along with him on missions. I guess what I can really say about this movie, is it was fun yet forgettable, and that's about what I expected from it. I was not going into this with high expectations at all. I didn't expect it to be horrible. I didn't expect it to be memorable in any way, shape, or form. And I pretty much got what I expected. Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges definitely do their best. Reynolds is bland, but he always is. I'm not a fan of Reynolds at all. Jeff Bridges is hamming it up like crazy and having a ball, and that's why I love Jeff Bridges, and I think that seems to be the general consensus, is even, no matter how bad a movie is, Jeff Bridges always has fun, and he lets the audience have fun whenever he's on screen, and that's exactly what he does. I mean, this is probably one of his hammiest roles to date, and it's delightful. He's really having a wonderful time with this character, and it projects to the audience that, he's having a great time, so you have a great time with him, and that's always a bonus in these types of movies. The rest of the cast is essentially forgettable, with two exceptions. One is, I don't know the actress's name. I'll probably just post a little caption here, but the person in charge of RIPD, the lady who assigns missions and kind of keeps things under control, she was great, and she has this great just deadpan, she's seen everything. She's so jaded, and it's wonderful. It's the girl, it's the lady in the trailer who, when Reynolds first dies, she's sitting there going, "Tough day." That girl, wonderful throughout the whole movie. She was hilarious. I loved every moment that she was on screen. It's just like I said, just the perfect, just deadpan, just uncaring, cold, but with this little spark of kind of feistiness in her, and it's a great combination. It's a really fun character. And then we have Kevin Bacon, who is another one of those guys who, like Jeff Bridges, he always has fun in his roles, and he always allows you to have fun. And again, he's hamming it up like crazy, just like Bridges, and he offers a lot of joy too. As far as story goes and writing, it's this is where the forgettable part comes in. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, especially if you've seen Men in Black and that kind of thing. It's they're going after these deados, these escaped spirits. They're bringing them in, and then they stumble across this big scheme that's going on that's gonna lead to the end of the world basically, and they gotta go find the main bad guy and bring this this unlikely team has to sort of bring justice to the dead world, the afterlife. And so it's pretty straightforward, and it really doesn't bring anything new to that sort of idea. But again, I didn't expect it to, and it really didn't have to keep my attention. I would have liked if it did something new, but that wasn't what I was expecting going in. It's a movie that does not take itself very seriously. It doesn't seem to want you to take it very seriously. It does laugh at itself, and it seems very aware of its silliness, and so it's just sort of a turn your brain off and just have fun for 90 minutes kind of deal. And that's exactly what I did, and that's kind of what I was hoping for, is just to go in and just basically not think. That sounds worse than it is, but basically not think for an hour and a half, but in a good way. It just takes you on a ride that is fun while you're in it, but as soon as you come out, it's just, it's alright, I saw a movie, it was fun, what's for lunch? And that's basically where my thought process is now. Like, I don't regret seeing it at all, but I'm probably not going to remember it in, a couple days. It is definitely a humorous movie. I wouldn't go as far as flat out funny, but I did chuckle a few times, especially like with the characters that I mentioned. The main cast that I mentioned before. They all have their humorous moments, but none of it is really laugh out loud funny. Some of it is very stupid, especially the dead. They have some like dead puns and like plays on words that a few of them made me face palm. So yeah, there are a few like really cheap jokes in there, but other than that, it's really just sort of, it's humorous, but not completely flat out laugh your ass off funny. And that's basically the summary of the humor. Overall, I'd say it's definitely not a waste of money. It's far from the worst thing you could see this summer. And I think if you're just looking for a fun, silly summer flick, you're gonna have a good time in this movie. If you just want to go see some, just fun, just fun, goofy action that doesn't take itself seriously and doesn't ask too much of you in terms of taking things seriously, I'd say it's a good option. I would definitely urge you towards other choices, but as far as sort of, lighthearted, fun, action-packed movies this year, I would say it's a decent recommendation. And again, this can't be overstated enough. Don't take it too seriously. The minute you try to take it seriously, it's gonna fall apart. It's not a movie that can be picked apart logically, but if you just sit back and enjoy what it has to offer, I don't think you'll regret seeing it. I think it's worth the ticket price. And that's it for this edition of the Backseat Reviewer. Check out my written review, which will be coming in the description below. And until next time, this is Capn Sammich, signing out.
I'm a cowboy.